Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you do enjoy the content here, hit that subscribe button. And boys, if you are a subscriber, welcome back. Welcome then to Pro Cyclist Mode, and welcome to the home screen of one PRIMOZ ROGLIC. That's right, we've started a Pro Cyclist Mode, and then you can see down here in the bottom left corner, we've modified the game save so we can take control of an actual rider in game, and we've done it with PRIMOZ ROGLIC. Been excited by his start to the season. He's starting to ramp things up. He's riding the Volta at the time of this recording, and he's looking pretty good. He's doing some battling with Juan Ayuso over at UAE, so we're excited to see how that goes. But yes, we're going to be PRIMOZ ROGLIC. Let's jump in here. Of course, riding for Red Bull Bora-Hans Grohe, 35 years of age now. Thought we'd just jump in and we'll do a season with Roggers and see what we can do for a bit of fun. 82 medium mountains, 81 mountain, 80 in the hills. Still some good physical attributes despite that 35 years of age. Good acceleration, prologue, etc, etc. Good support team: Oya Lescano, Lipovic, Daniel Felipe Martinez. A couple of decent guys here. So hopefully they're going to step up and be able to support Roglic in this season. Let's move over to the calendar, because of course this is going to be a big thing for our season. We need to decide what races we're going to do. So I've been trying to get an idea in my head what we want to do here. So I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll try and get our fitness up first. We'll move sort of forward more towards February time, and I'm thinking possibly the Volta like Valenciana might be somewhere we need to be. So I'm going to drop that in there. So that's going to take us from early February through sort of 5 stages. So a good kind of little ramp up to the season. I do fancy myself having a crack at the Strade Bianche. Now, this is going to be, of course, very tough, the type of race that it is and the type of riders we're going to be up against. But still, nonetheless, I think, why not? Let's jump in and put the Strade Bianche on there a few weeks later in early March. So we sort of really get into things with that Valenciana tour, have a little break. Then we've got the Strade Bianche. We'll just kind of hold there for a second. Yeah, I don't know how well we'll do with that. So to back that up then, I think sort of following on, we'll just go straight into the Tirreno Adriatico just a few days later. So we'll do like a week there as well. I'm not too sure about that Strade Bianche there. Do we keep that? Let's keep it. Let's keep it for now. It's such obviously a classic race. It's an amazing race. But of course the Tirreno Adriatico is quite a prestigious race as well. Let's keep that in there. Roglic IRL has done well in this race previously. I think it was 2000, late 2000, so late 1920. Did well there. Love the Etzulia. Let's bang that in there. And then as we look sort of further down, I think also Tour de Romandie, we can get that in there. Another good tour. And of course, I want to be focusing on the Tour de France rather than the Giro and La Vuelta. That might be something we do with another rider. But let's go through here. What have we got? Slovenia National Road Championships. Now, of course, we're going to have to do that, being PRIMOZ ROGLIC. And then I think what we might do is drop in, what do we do, go Dauphiné, or do we go Tour de Suisse? What do we think, guys? We've got that National Road Championships, which is coming up 29th of the 6th, and Tour de Suisse will finish on the 22nd. So we've got a week to kind of recoup and potentially get ready for that. I think that's what we're going to go. We'll go Tour de Suisse, so we'll bang that in there as well on the calendar. And then that will kind of be our precursor to, of course, the Tour de France. So let's get that in on the calendar as well. Get that set up. Some of these other races, Super 8 Classic, of course, these are all like really sort of sprints and stuff. Something like the Grand Prix de Wallonie, that could be fun. Let's put that in there as well. So let's get these confirmations in. So that's some of the 3 races put in there. And how about something like the Czech Tour? Could we get the Czech Tour in there as well? That might be pretty decent as well. Just going back to the middle of August, after we've had a few weeks break from the Tour de France. I mean, that could be pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy at 60 race dates for Roggers, a few nice tours, a Strade Bianche in there as well. That could be it, guys. That could be our season. I know as well, winter preparation, he's asking, so how did this winter go? Big preparation in order to be ready right from the first races. But of course, the tiredness goes up. Or we've got good preparation without getting too excited. And I think that's probably the one. Big tiredness will just be 5, but prep will be 75 to 80. Okay, so jumping in with the management, with Roggers, we have to see who we want to request to be on our side when it comes to the races that we're doing this year. Tour de France mainly, of course, we need great support in the mountains if we're to combat Vingegaard, Pogacar, etc., etc. So Vlasov, Hindley, Martinez, guys that we're heavily requesting be supporting us in that respect. The precursor to that, the Tour de Suisse, is our wind-up race. Lipovic, Lascano and Adria trying to support us there. Other big races for us this season, the Strade Bianche, Danny Van Poppel, of course, you know, cobblestones, Flanders, a rider such as Yuri Moyes and Jan Tratnik. Those 3 guys, the support in that type of race. Elsewhere, E Lombardia at the end of the season. Again, you can see by the parkour, 233 kilometers, some big climbs to take on that day. So again, Vlasov, Hindley, Martinez to support us there. So we arrived then to the first race of the season that we added to Roglic's calendar, and it is the Volta alla Comunità Valenciana. We've got with us Finn Fisher-Black, Matteo Sobrero, Maxim Van Gils, Frederick Van Daal, Mick Van Dijk and Tim Van Dijk. If we go into the magazine, they do put us amongst the top of the favourites. Enric Mas is there as well. And Maxim Van Gils, quite surprisingly, up in 3rd. There's Del Toro, Sobrero, also on our team. Zana, Grobschat, McNulty, Sanchez, Van Hoek, and Pinang Jolie. So we've got a couple of guys through, you know, the top, 5? We've got 3. So a very strong squad that we've brought here for the Valenciana. Let's get into this race and see how we do. Stage 1 of the Valenciana. You can just see we're sort of sitting up, not pushing too hard. There is a breakaway group of 5 here on stage 1. Let's just quickly go across. You can see there is a sprint at Lanusia, then we go on to Rape, and is it the Bernia? Yeah, the Bernia is the last climb before we head downhill, and it is going to be a sprint finish. In the breakaway, Arts, Fuentes, Cobo, Azparan, and Trayen. But everyone else in the main group here, including our main rivals of Enric Mas and Grobschartner as well. Everybody looking still pretty fresh, but my main aim here is really just getting Roglic to the line in this front group. And if there are any splits occurring within that, then of course even better if we can make up some time. But we're pushing pretty hard here, up to 90 now with Sobrero as he drives this Red Bull train forward, trying to stay with the main guys. Plenty of riders around us. If we have a quick look here, we can see Buson, Pedersen, Canal, Engelhardt, Michael Matthews is there. So now we are just trying to keep the pace going. We are going to switch it up. We are going to put Tim Van Dijk there. He now takes over up to 6 kilometers. We're going to move Roglic up the proceedings. He's going to go into 3rd wheel. You get down to 5 kilometers now. 4 kilometers coming up. Roglic very much in a prime position. We are just going to push as much as we can with our Red Bull guys here to the finish. Coming down to 2 kilometers left now. We're really pushing hard. And Roglic is going to go early. He's going to take some riders with him. He's going to push again. No, he's got nothing left in the tank. I'm not too worried about this. This is all pretty much just getting Roglic to the line in that front group. Maxim Van Gils there. won for the points in this Valenciana formation in for stage 1. It was Angel Fuentes, the Spaniard on home soil, taking the win for Burgos. Asparen for Q3 6.5 in second, and Hub Arts, the Dutchman for Intermarché, coming in at third position. Start of stage 2 then in the Valenciana. Sid Ogdot Cobo moving out there ahead of Marin. We go into the stage profile here. We've got the Maguimo, the Tibi, the Benefalim, and the Conforides in this first half of this 172 kilometer stage. We've then got a couple of climbs at the Frustera and the Del Sol. And then, of course, there is going to be that climb to the Alto di Pino at the end of the stage. Quite steep. What is that? Average 7.3, max 12.7 gradient. That is going to be potentially a prime position for Roglic to pick up some extra time, perhaps. And of course, we're only 34 seconds back off the lead of the GC after stage 1. So we could potentially find ourselves in the yellow jersey ahead of stage 3 if we play our cards right. And then at 51 kilometers to go, we're sitting pretty good. Everyone looking pretty fresh. Roglic just tucked away in cotton wool towards the back of our group. He's still got Van Dahl behind him as well. This is a bit protection in case anything for us to push up from behind there. Then Fisher Black, Van Gils, the two Van Dijk boys in the Dot Sobrero leading the way as the way now push up the Frustera, and I am going to try to up the ante. And now when we approach now the Combre del Sol, we're going to push hard with the boys here. So we got a little bit more. Van Dijk is going to take over on cursor. Move Sobrero to his own personal plan as we keep pushing. Sobrero has done a good job today, but we just want to keep these guys moving as much as we can out the front. Can Sobrero just latch onto the back of Van Dahl and maybe just stay with us as much as he can if he recoups? I don't know if he's going to be able to. We are pushing hard here though with Van Dijk at the front. We are perhaps just going to have to let off here. We're going a bit too hard. Let's come back down to 80. Let's not completely destroy that red bar as we come now to 30 kilometers left in the stage, and we are on the downhill, so we're going to pump up the gas as we go downhill. There are a couple of gradients that still push us upwards, but for the most part this is very much downhill. We're just trying to crack this group as much as we can. Behind us, the 4 kilometers out then from the sprint section here at stage 2, but we've still got a group of 13 clear. As we bring that up and scroll across, we can see nobody really in that front group. That is a cause for concern for GC. They are going to take that sprint section, but of course we still have the Alto di Pino to come at the end of this stage. 8.9 kilometers then, stage 2. Van Dijk pushing on the front here pretty hard at 90, doing as best as he can to try and create some separation from behind. That red bar just kind of staying alive, so we are just going to up it 92 as we kind of bridge over that harder section, but we are losing red now as we then bring Fisher Black into play. Let's get him to take over from Van Dijk, who's been absolutely pushing really hard. We are going to bring Van Dahl then up front, in the front of Roglic, I should say. Roglic on a -2 today, so we're just trying to protect him as best we can. Fisher Black pushing hard. 1 minute 22. The 8 riders still ahead of us. Of course, nobody in that group pushing for GC for this Valenciana, so we are not too worried about that at the moment. Roglic, I think we move up 1 position to third wheel just behind Van Gils as we go then to 2.8 kilometers out, and we are going to just drop off Van Dahl off the back of Roglic there just to try and create any separation that we can. Fisher Black pushing hard. Van Gils now is going to have to take over here, but they really do slow down. Van Dahl, come back on the reel of Roglic if you want to, but yeah, he's pretty much going to die there in just a second. So then Roglic, we pull him out the wheel. He's going to sprint, Roggers. He is going to go out of gas, but this is about seconds. This isn't about wins. There are 6 riders ahead. You can see they're in 2 groups of 3. Roglic pushing hard. He is going to finish in 7th. But this is definitely going to be time gained for PRIMOZ Roglic across the line there. That here come our teammates. Confirmation from the stage then that Antonio Angulo, the Spaniard for Burgos, takes the stage win. Prade for Cajo Rural in 2nd, and Della Parte in 3rd for Escaltel. Pedro Silva, the Portuguese, in 4th. Jonas Ruiz for Intermarché finishes out your top 5. There's Diogo Goncalves as well, another Portuguese rider doing a good race, 39 seconds back. And then there is now Roglic in 7th position, followed by teammates Van Dal and Sombrero. And if we go into the points from stage 2, Angulo takes the points. Della Parte will take 34 points in the mountains. Pedro Silva, the best of the young riders. And then team-wise, of course, an impressive ride from Red Bull. Let's then go to the general classification for each of those jerseys. Team-wise, we do now lead 2 minutes 34 ahead of UAE. Frederik Van Dal is your leading young rider under 25 for Red Bull. Love to see it. Della Parte, 34 points there in the mountains, the leader there so far. A bunch of Spanish riders here on home soil doing well. In the points, not so good for Van Gils. He has, I don't know where he's disappeared to at the moment, but he's definitely not up there. But very much the team trying to support Roglic, who, yes, now does take the lead of the race. Tornstein Trein for Bahrain and Victorious is in 2nd. And then we do have a bunch of teammates around us, and we can really see, I mean, Grobschartner is 48 seconds back. Zana there is 1:31 back. Enric Mas 2:04 already with 2 stages gone. Enric Mas suffering in this Valenciana. Stage 3 then for the Valenciana, and of course, as we know from the last stage, we took the lead of the GC, and there's Roggers in that yellow jersey with blue accent for the Valenciana race. Now on stage 3, the GC yellow jersey is on our back and shoulders, and we are hopefully going to carry that now all the way to the end of this stage and this overall tour. Stage 3, another 2 stages to come after this. Today, very much one for the sprinters, so this is just about keeping Roglic wrapped up in cotton wool and making sure we can get to the end of this stage, somewhere towards the front in the main peloton, and just keeping an eye on, of course, the lights off Mas and Grobschartner, Nolti, Del Toro, etc. If they do happen to try and make a move. Pushing hard as much as we can with our boys here. Push, 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 push. And we're going to hit the burners with Van Gils. It is going to be not enough though towards the end. Yeah, it was a bit of a push there because Van Gils had to drop back, get in the wheel of Van Dal, tried to recoup some energy. I think he just dropped off too much, and it would have been a hard push anyway after that intermediate sprint. But this is very much about getting Roglic over the line in the best possible position towards the front of this race. Confirmation then from stage 3, it was Mads Pedersen from Little Trek taking the win. Engelhardt for Team Jayco in 2nd, Carlos Canal from Movistar in 3rd. There's Grobschartner. He did actually gain 9 seconds on us. Michael Matthews in 5th. And then we do get Roglic in that 9-second group a bit further back. Mads Pedersen taking the 25 points from the stage. Van Gils picked up 14, thankfully in part to that intermediate sprint prior to the end of the race. Van Dijk and Van Gils picking up some mountain points. Engelhardt, the best young rider in that stage. Let's go to the GC then. We can see we are the best team. Van Dal still leads 15 seconds as the best young rider. We can see Tim Van Dijk make some roads into 4th position in the mountains. And then Mads Pedersen now is your leader in the points classification, jumping up to 34 points. But most importantly for our race here, PRIMOZ Roglic will remain in the yellow jersey for stage 4 ahead of the Norwegian Tornstein Trein and Van Dal, there are young rider in 3rd and Sombrero in 4th. Stage 4 then, if we take a quick look, we've got to go up the Ain, the Collado, the Ayador, the Taroba, and then we've got the biggest climb, the Montmayor, before we finish up with a hefty climb of a max 9.3% up the Alta de Corbasampa towards the end of this stage. So very much consolidation of our riders through most of this stage, just keeping everyone together, keeping Roglic protected as much as we can. And then if we get into that final stage, as soon as we get past that intermediate sprint at the Altura, as soon as we come into the climb, that is very much going to be our point of attack. 7 kilometers to go, and I think then Roglic is going to do his thing here. Van Dijk will put him let's put him onto Sobrero. Van Dijk can do his own thing, and then we are just going to pace. Off we go. Let's go then. We have just used our energy gel. Roglic is off. He's on his own. Let's go. Look at this. 12 seconds, 13 seconds. Roglic, a man possessed. Looking. Oh, he's just going to be caught up now. Big push from Trojan. Big push. But I think in doing that push, he is going to use a lot of energy, and we're going to kick. If he's had to spend that energy to get back on our wheel, I'm going. Let's blow him up. He's starting to rock a little bit, as are we. It's 2.6 kilometers to go. Let's go hard then with Roglic here. If we push 2.3 kilometers, we're up on the pedals. Let's go here. Let's break back now. Let's not spend all our energy here. But yeah, there he goes. There goes Trojan. We're not going to have to sprint for this, I don't think. 1.1 kilometers to go. Roglic dominating here. Let's just tally this off. Don't want to implode just before the line. And let's do a bit of a kick towards the line just to pick up what seconds we can here. But this is a dominant performance for PRIMOZ Roglic here in stage 4 of the Valenciana. The yellow jersey is across the line first. There's McNulty, there's Pedersen. And then Trojan actually comes in 4th place. We're going to gain big seconds on the Norwegian here at stage 4 in the Valenciana. Of the stage then from Buriana to the Alta de Corbasampa is stage 4 of the Valenciana here, and PRIMOZ Roglic hits the rockets on that final push. Trojan, the Norwegian, tried to catch up to our wheel. He burnt energy doing so, and then we just said goodbye, Mr. TT, because off we went up the hill on the Alta de Corbasampa and absolutely decimated. 27 seconds then the difference ahead of McNulty. Mads Pedersen doing well to finish in 3rd, 32 back, and then there is Trojan 54 back, losing almost a minute. Demarchi finishes off your top 5. Van Dijk, Sobrero, Van Dijk back in 13th, 14th, 15th. Max and Van Gils fading out to 20th. But big support by Red Bull for Roglic in this stage. They pushed really hard. We made gaps, we made splits, we decimated the peloton, and a lot of people losing big time. You can see Grobschartner there, 3:56. Zana as well, 2:28. Let's go across to then the GC for teams. UAE Team Emirates 50 seconds ahead. Pingazzoli, the Italian for Team Polti, leads the way in the under-25s ahead of Engelhardt, and we have dropped with Van Dijk. Not surprisingly so, though. He put in a massive effort to support Roglic, so even though he's not going to be in that white jersey, big respect for the effort he put in. Della Parte, the Spaniard for Escadel, looking to be pretty dominant there, 34 points. Mads Pedersen leads the way in the points classification, now 8 points ahead of Roglic. And there we go, Roglic then now 1 minute 21 ahead of the Norwegian Trojan, who lost 54 seconds, I think we just said, in that stage 4. Mads Pedersen now up 10 places into 3rd, but very comfortable position for Roglic with one stage to go here in the Valenciana. We're wearing the yellow on his back and shoulder that we're going to carry to hopefully the end of this stage without issue. It's a somewhat just over 80 kilometer punch to Valencia, quite a short stage, but we can see if we go into the parkour, there is this zone exposed to the wind for 24 kilometers. That is a little bit tricky, so as long as we don't do anything stupid and we don't get caught out there, pretty much we should be able to tie up this Valenciana title and the GC win for PRIMOZ Roglic. Just over 6 kilometers to go then now, and Finn Fisher-Black is taking over the lead of this Red Bull train. Roglic has got the gel on. We move to the front of this peloton, and we're going to go full gas here. Going to just have to level this off a little bit for Finn Fischer-Black. I don't want this to top out before we get onto the sort of 5 kilometer for Roglic to make a push here. That's looking good. We can probably just up this a little bit. Gotta be careful here. We can probably push a little bit more now as we go through the roundabout section into 1.7 kilometers. Just tally this off a little bit. Yep. Finn Fischer-Black is going to be done for. So we're going to push hard then with Roglic. Is he going to be able to sprint for the line? Yes, he is. Roglic will take a stage 5 win and the GC title. Very, very well done with PRIMOZ Roglic. We were the out-and-out favourite team with the favourite rider for this Valenciana. And we've proven that with a GC win for PRIMOZ Roglic and 2 stage wins out of 5. Mick van Dijk coming in second for Red Bull as well. Mads Pedersen in third with Tim van Dijk in fourth. Confirmation then of stage 5, and pretty much as you'd expect. I mean, we didn't have that much competition in this Valenciana. There are a lot of sub-Conti teams and lower teams making up the peloton. As I said, there was a couple of guys early on that we were looking out for: Enric Mas, Grobschartner from UAE, Del Toro from UAE. But really, we just had such a strong team in this Valenciana. Stage 5 then confirmation: PRIMOZ Roglic wins, Mick van Dijk in second, Mads Pedersen in third. Let's move over to the general classification then, and you can see indeed we get that GC win. We take home the yellow jersey. Tornstein, Traen, the Norwegian for Bahrain Victorious, finishes 1 minute and 31 down. Mads Pedersen stays in third. Brendan McNulty for UAE is in fourth. Pingeng Joli, the Italian, in fifth, and it's another Italian, Filippo Zana, in sixth. But we also claim 9th and 10th with Sobrero and Vandal as well. So absolutely love to see it. Team standings. We didn't do enough to sweep the team there as well. UAE beating us by 50 seconds all round. Young rider Pingeng Joli there, the Italian for Team Polti, doing a fantastic job to take the under-25 jersey with Engelhardt from Team Jayco in second. Vandal for us was in contention for that, but he really gave up the chance to win that jersey by just acting as such a great support for Roglic. So big thank you to him. Victor Delaparte for the Escadel team, taking home the mountains, 34 points to 18 from Jonas Roig from Intermarché. And then Roglic, with that stage win, beats Mads Pedersen by a point to take the points classification as well as the GC. So it's the first tour, it's the first races in this 1 year racing season with PRIMOZ Roglic, and we start it with a GC win at the Volta a la Comunidad Valenciana. So we arrived in our second scheduled race of the season following on from our win at the Valenciana, and it is the Strade Bianche. We can see here on the briefing screen, team-wise, we're going to be leading with Sobrero rejoining us following on from that race in Spain. And we've got Jan Tratnik with us, which of course is a very big deal considering his ability on the cobblestones. Giulio Perzari, the young Italian, comes with the team. Jordi Mois here as well, also providing some ability on the cobblestones. And then we've got the Italian Giovanni Aliotti as well joining us for this one. We are underway then in the Strade Bianche in Italy. What a tough race this is. The Strade Bianche very much is like trying not to get your girlfriend pregnant. It is all about protection, and that is what we're going to have to do today. We're going to have to protect Tratnik. We're going to have to protect Roglic, and try and get through as much of this race as we can towards the end. And hopefully, if we're still there, the likes of Mathieu van der Poel, the likes of Pogacar and stuff are going to pose a big problem for us, but we are going to do the best that we can. 122 kilometers, and we're coming up to the Permontilcino, and we're just, we're sitting up. We've been reserving a lot of energy here. We've been staying towards the front of the peloton on those cobblestone sections, just avoiding any punches, avoiding any potential crashes, staying out of the way. Now, we do have a 6-minute lead with 3 riders. Vidrame Kamna is there for Middle Trek. And then David Gaudu in that 3-man. breakaway. Very, very brave to see him up there. I do want to see some splits. Yes, this group now 22. Look at that split. Janssens is there. Pogacar is with us. Pidcock is there, and is Van der Poel. So now that we have the split, probably the first, second, and third favourites for this race, we can confirm are with us. I could probably take off the gas a little bit because we need to conserve now. We've kind of put ourselves in a position that with Roglic, we are going to be in that group with those key riders. But of course, we've spent a lot of energy to create that split. We are just going to have to make sure now that we can recoup and get some energy back as we move forward. But of course, we can't rest on our laurels here too much. Move Roglic up to third wheel just in case something happens with Moyes here and his energy runs low. And let's put Moyes on the back of Pellizzari there as well, just to make sure that we aren't getting caught out here. 10 kilometers to go though, but in the last couple of kilometers, guys, we have absolutely dropped off. The Strade Bianche is going to disappear from us. Sobrero is up there with Pogacar and Pidcock. I don't know if it's an AI thing, but he's literally just latched on and not been able to get detached. He's been like a leech up there. A beautiful leech, Sobrero. An absolute fine performance for him. It's 6 kilometers to go now, or just over, and yet we are pretty much cooked here. Tom Pidcock takes the Strade Bianche. Tadej Pogacar in second. Mattia Sobrero for Red Bull finishes in third, ahead of Mattia Van der Poel. What a race from the Italian on our team. Jan Tratnik also then finishing in fifth, and then PRIMOZ Roglic coming in at 6th position. Confirmation then, guys, from the Strade Bianche. Red Bull, team-wise, we finished 9 minutes and 41 ahead of Groupama, who got second. Absolutely well done to them. Of course, David Gaudu got in that long-range breakaway attack. Was very much going to be difficult to make that stick on the Strade Bianche here in Siena. But yeah, Groupama in second, but we do take the team title. Confirmation though of the winner, it was Tom Pidcock, 4Q3 6.5. Tadej got second. Sobrero, like I said, what the hell was he smoking in this one to finish in third? Congrats to him. Mattia Van der Poel in fourth. You would expect him to be up there. Jan Tratnik, one of the favourites from our team, finishing in fifth. But we just didn't have the legs to make anything happen in that final third of the race. We just got caught out by that big attack. And yeah, we had to settle for 6th place, some 2 minutes 13 back. Still not the worst thing in the world. We finished ahead of Mark Hershey, Remco Evenepoel, Stefan Koenig, Derek G, Romain Grégoire, and then further down, Aliot Pellizzari finishing 21st and 22nd to help us, of course, round out the team title. But that is the Strade Bianche done for this season. Management-wise, we were requested to finish in the top 15 of the Strade Bianche, so they were actually still happy that we got that finish. I think very much Jan Tratnik for our team was the more favourite to do well, and of course he did finish just ahead of us. But that is going to be it for this first episode of this one season racing with PRIMOZ Roglic. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Of course, we've got more races coming up in the calendar. Of course, further down the line, the Tour de France itself. So if you do like this series, guys, throw a like on the video. And also, I will be doing more one season with other riders as well. So if you've got a rider that you want me to do one season with in Pro Cyclist, one of the real riders in game, leave me a comment down below and tell me which rider you would like to see, and also what races we should select with that rider. I want to hear what you want to see once we finish this one season with PRIMOZ Roglic. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in part 2 of this series. Get out of here.